here at Business.Digital.NOW, second day. I don't know what number of presentation or talk is already here, but it was an amazing so far experience with meeting so great people. And I think the next one is also an amazing lady. Sveta, hi.
Hi, Ivan.
Where are you now?
Hi, guys.
Joining from London.
I'm in London in the city center. Yeah, I love this place. Maybe you will hear even London's noise.
Oh, wow,
in my
great.
window.
Yeah, I love London as well. So I missed it. Maybe soon I will be visiting it for, a short trip or so.
Okay, yeah, let's catch up. Everybody who comes to London, I'm happy to catch up with you guys.
Great. Well, so I'm just going to read a short bio presentation here that you've sent us. So an ex-mathematician, digital tech advocate, and is recognized as a global talent in digital. You have more than 10 years of experience working across the entire cycle, R&D, product marketing, sales, customer success. You have played over 15 roles, from data scientist, UX designer, or digital transformation consultant to a business trainer. You are already engaged with more than 80 plus startups projects and working for brands like ABM, LinkedIn, or Schumberger. And of course, the idea of digital tech is for you, ambassadorship. You are having this in heart. And I'm really excited to have you here because based on your portfolio, I think we can make a conference only with you together and just talking about lots of topics.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So the idea of our talk today is actually to touch upon something very interesting, very picky, and that's the challenges when we face by designing the perfect client experience. So we touched upon lots of topics related to client experience in our previous conversations and on the first day, but I really want to elaborate on that more with you. So what would you say nowadays? Maybe you heard also the previous presentation when we speak about RevOps as a philosophy already for organizing client-facing teams and not having the different marketing, sales, and service teams like working in a separate tools or separate processes. But from your experience, where we are now with the client's journey?
It's an interesting question, Ivan. Yeah, I participated in the previous session. And it depends actually on the size of company and the need of the company to survive. So, for example, I can give you just a few examples. Startups that are not heavily supported by investors, they don't have a choice. You have your goal to drive revenue, and you need to make sure that your marketing and sales, they work seamlessly, they collaborate. But there is another challenge. So you're willing to collaborate. There is no so many barriers for you. But there is a challenge of expertise. Often, if you go to small companies, they don't have expertise in sales, even great training, or in marketing. So this is a problem for small size companies. When we move to the bigger size companies, it's of course about this, our favorite topic. Everybody talks about silos, but this is truth, unfortunately. And it's not only about sales and marketing, it's also about security and DevOps and architects on cloud, etc. So all these separate divisions, they bring barriers and it slows down organization. And if your competitor is much faster, you are just losing your market share.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, so next I will just trying to put in the talk only disruptive questions, but
okay, yeah, let's disrupt it.
What is actually needed today from a company in order to make its client happy?
Seamless journey. When your client or customer, starting from the first touch point, gets treatment that is consistent at each moment. wherever he sees you, maybe on the event, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe it's a call with sales team, and then he goes or she goes to your website, or maybe if it's tech project, tech solution, it will be demo. Everything should be seamless and consistent. So I worked, for example, with a company, it's medium company, they had 80 divisions, 80 physical stores, yeah, across different countries. And when COVID hit, they got such a great decrease of their revenue. And at that moment, it became obvious that all different channels worked separately, like social media, email marketing, selling in a store, selling like a call center who follows up those guys. And they just, it's very difficult even to explain what was the face of the business owner. Really, I'm not joking, because he thought, okay, I sell my stuff and everything is amazing and it's a it's premium brand. And suddenly he lost the main channel and all other channels, as he thought, oh, actually we have on YouTube videos, yeah, or we have call center that we outsource, or we have agency.
Yeah.
And this is first of all, customer is frustrated because they're treated in different ways. And the second, business doesn't have revenue. So to make sure that you drive revenue, of course, any business wants to get revenue. This is the primary goal of commercial department or management of the company, that you have customer journey without holes, between those different stages of customer moving through that journey.
Totally agree with you. And I think, so what you're saying is that, of course, when you say it, it sounds pretty easy, but the reality is totally different. So a brand needs to have one consistent, unique and aligned face when speaking with even one client. And it's like such brand, when you speak with different teams, actually you speak with one person. And this is the idea of aligning processes. But in the reality, it's pretty hard to achieve that, because we have people that needs to be aligned. We have technologies. And what would you say about companies that are, let's have the example of B2B, just a traditional B2B company selling some goods and stuff. Maybe, engineering company that has a bigger sales cycle and has, and sells maybe some services and also some products. I saw lots of them, speaking with them, consulting, and they were always saying, okay, of course, sales teams are the most important ones, because we are a B2B company. We need to consult, and then we are investing a lot in the sales team, because people are going out there, finding the leads, bringing them to a meeting, closing, offering, creating quotes, upselling, also cross-selling, and then they're neglecting after sales or customer success or marketing as well. What would you say about this traditional approach?
I would say that I worked a lot. For example, when I joined one of the companies, actually the same example as you explained. It was B2B company. They were selling great services, managed services for very big brands. Everybody knows, and everybody uses those brands almost every day. And I joined at that time as a marketing manager, and I thought, okay, to make sure that I drive consistent message, let me talk to developers, let me talk to sales team, to engineers, let me talk to customer success. And what you are saying about sales, not everybody was agreed with this statement, especially technical teams. They want to enroll release feature, they have their roadmap, and they are not so open, or they don't trust so much to sales. And one more thing, that often those developers who build these products, they don't understand actually the entire product.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a lot of frustration, and I spent quite a lot of time. People were helping me to understand the product, but I saw how many actually people within the company were not consistent in their message even to me when I asked my question about product. Can you imagine? You talk about all different languages and they're controversial even. Yeah. So of course your company will suffer, but then you need to have a platform for communication. One of the biggest problems in communication, and you need to speak, of course, language that everybody in the room will understand. And for example, I was on the call yesterday, and the guy was explaining to me, okay, I shared my experience in my work in program management with the lady, and I saw she didn't understand at all what I was telling her. But I needed to tell her truth. So my question was back, how would you explain your work to your son? How old is your son? 7 years old. How would you explain your work to him? And he started to give me examples. Yeah. Similar here. If you need to go, whatever you think about another side, but those guys didn't spend years in your field. Treat them like kids. But if we all come to this way of talking simple language, and after communication, let's have a list of what we are doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you play back what you think about that. It will give much more foundation to make sure that we are on the same page and we understand each other.
Yes, we witnessed that a lot in our work during the years. It's really challenging to work for a company that sells technical products, no matter it's a digital one or it's a physical one, because then we have exactly this conflict where technical people, engineers, product developers, they are, from their perspective, they're quite clear. So this is the product and it's pretty easy to use. And the ideal customer or the ideal profile is a technical person from the other company. Please bring that to them and he will understand. And we as a marketing company, exactly what you're doing, you were doing within with this company, we also try to translate on a marketing level the language of technical people, and they're asking us why. It's a very specific. I wrote you a couple of sentences how you can sell this product, how you can market this product. Just go out there and use those sentences. And we're saying to them, no, because you will be quite surprised, but even technical people from our customers, ideal customer profiles, doesn't understand what is actually our product for. And here comes the process of aligning teams. And I think marketing in that case scenario needs to be able to build a process or a strategy where, and that was the case in a couple of our clients, where we want to get the feedback from the buyer persona itself and say, okay, we're telling you this. Are you understanding pretty easy what it's all about, our value proposition, our unique selling points, or it's just a mess? And then when we get this information from people that are respectful from our technical people, then they can believe and say, okay, guys, then we need to do something, because obviously we can rely only on the technical overview of this product. And that's a fight that constantly has been going on. And I think in a mature companies nowadays, these are some of the silos, some of the block points where you cannot adapt technology because of the different point of views. Exactly what you're telling us. We are experiencing the same situation with companies that are having, let's say, very aggressive sales teams, and the marketing that is just a passive. This is just, I have a marketing team just to be there. just to say I have a marketing. And then when you ask marketing what you're marketing, what you're doing with the marketing, what are your products that you're marketing for, unique selling points, and then you ask the salespeople, we hear totally different stories. And that's a great disaster for a company, I think.
Yeah. I agree with you. You know, you mentioned that there are these objections. You come to technical team and you start explaining that, oh, let's simplify that. I have been confronted it for the last, I don't know, 6 years, maybe 7 years. I go and I need to convince them, guys, that I totally understand your product is beautiful and the main thing is all these features, and I like play back their features, but I play a role of a dummy. I'm saying, you know, I'm dummy, I don't understand. And no, really. And they say, oh, not, you're not dummy. So you need to use different approaches. You need to be a good negotiator, and you need to be a good salesperson, trained in terms of selling your idea. Yeah. And I use different approaches. One of the approaches, when I reached, you know, the point when I was selling in one of the companies, they wanted to position themselves like one product version, you know, generation 2. I'm telling guys, we are going into completely another niche. It's not where our customer, even if we start position in this niche, they are looking for completely another solution. It's just frustrating, and we are losing actually. No, really. For example, you sell your milk and you go and you say, oh, it's water generation 2. But this guy who wants milk will not go to the section of water, you know?
Yes.
He will go and look for milk in a section of milk, even if your milk is like a magical milk. So I was explaining the same, but they didn't feel it. So I played back. Okay, what can I show them? I need to show and shock them. So I made this analysis of different segments on the market, and I interviewed people. And I brought these guys, this is this niche, and these are the solutions that are associated with these people, with these solutions, you know? So for example, if we go to, I will bring back boring milk section. Okay, why people want milk? They might want to cook with milk, or they might want to make a food for kids or something like that. So I bring that need in front of decision makers, and they think, oh, really? And I'm saying, okay, and right now let's look at water. What is water for? Water for you want after your run. Yeah, you need water. Or you drink water before you go to sleep or whatever. And they see, oh, really, there is disconnect. We don't need to go to water. Let's go back to our milk section because we solved that problem. Yeah. This is just one of the examples. My approach is always to show. Another thing how I solved that. Okay, I recorded people. I recorded user experience. I came to physically a place where our potential user will be, and he went through website. And before that, we designed website, and I was sure that we are frustrating person who comes on the website. Yeah. So I just recorded that person who is really in real time is using website, and how he's frustrating, what he's searching on Google because he couldn't find anything, and he's explaining out loud. And then I showed to the entire team and to different people like developers, marketing, sales, and they're, oh, really? Okay, now we get it.
Exactly. I think when we speak about companies creating some, you know, cutting edge technology, they have the perception from their perspective that this this technology or product solves a need from, you know, that actually from client's perspective is totally different. Okay, it's again a product that we can sell, but we need to twist this need. We need to talk to this need of the customer, and not just being, you know, like ourselves and saying, okay, we need to, you know, use those words and we need to use this strategy because we think that's the best thing. And I'm just pushing this talk towards our main topic of course of the event, digital transformation. What would you say about can technology, or, you know, platforms technologies can at least ease this conflict between teams, or actually make it more, you know, extensive?
Yeah, it can ease. It can ease. One of the biggest examples, it can give visibility. You know, even you talked about HubSpot. Let other people, for example, have a session, maybe 15 minutes or something, at one of your gathering or like stand-ups, and show what is happening behind the scene. They can see how people are moving, what is happening. Okay, these guys came to our website, there were 100 people, and after 1 minute, only one person was left. What is happening, guys? Or something like that. Show dashboards, and people from different teams can see, okay, experience on that stage will be clearly shown to me and explained. This is one of the biggest and greatest ways of aligning teams, showing them and giving them visibility and being transparent. And it's convincing. When people see with their eyes, they believe much more than you start explaining them on your like marketing, sales language, whatever you use.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what is
There
the...
is...
Yeah.
Yeah, I can give you more examples. If we again go back to size of companies, what I noticed, because I worked with huge clients, dozens of thousands of employees, and 3 people team or 2 people team, I can share that digital, those guys who are big guys, they might talk about digital transformation. But those guys who are small, they don't use these words. You know, they don't have much time to talk about it.
It just happens.
It happens, and he thinks, okay, and what he wants just to drive revenue, and he's saying whatever. He even doesn't want to hear like, I used to work a lot in marketing, just in marketing, and then I realized this is not what people want. Nobody wants marketing. Everybody wants to drive sales. So, and then I moved, okay, I will bring together marketing, sales, customer, really. And people, I just keep talking. For the last, for example, week, I can share, I talked maybe to 20 people from small and medium businesses. They didn't want to hear about technology or even function. It's crucial for them. They see how the world is like going to the end with this recession, and they think, I need to scale. I need to, why my competitors are dying? I need to drive revenue. And they're crazy, and they're saying, okay, whatever you offer, tell me how will you grow my business?
Yeah.
And they actually, even they don't talk about digital transformation, but these guys are highly motivated to use digital.
Yeah.
Whatever you will just guarantee them that it will be result, and they will use it.
Of course, we need to, you know, get down from the clouds of, you know, using just digital transformation and be tangible in what we're actually offering. And it's a very interesting example that you're mentioning with right now scalable company that needs to bring revenue and, you know, to be competitive and to be on the edge of competition. We had recently we had a couple of questions with such companies, and it's an interesting journey. The client is coming to us, let's say, in some inbound way, you know, through some content that we've shared, or, you know, referrals, which is quite workable, you know, channel still, and it's really good. And they say, we know that you're doing this and this. We are now having a very short period of time. We are having a deadline. We need to prove to our investors, let's say till the beginning of July, that we are capable of, you know, driving this revenue, to generating, you know, this specific number of leads. So we need to move fast. Can we start tomorrow? And we were like, okay, yeah, we are adaptive company, flexible company. If there is a potential here, we can work, you know, during the night, no problem. We did that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to think about that. In just a few hours, I'm going to send you our approach, so our ideas of how we're going to achieve that, some strategy, and of course technologies that we are going to use, because without technology you cannot sell anything nowadays, even if it's you know, like maybe it's an ads management platform, or it's a LinkedIn platform, or I don't know, HubSpot for, you know, sending email sequences. And then I was sending to them our presentation with, you know, the approach and everything. And for me, logically, when you want to have something good and fast, the third element, expensive, needs to be also on the back of your mind, because everything that needs to happen for yesterday costs more money. So the investment there for growing now, it's of course logically bigger. And then, you know, the term "the client is ghosting you," we were witnessing exactly the same thing. They're receiving the offering from our end. We are giving them a really tangible approach on how they can, you know, succeed with what they want to achieve, and how can they measure. And of course, I think on the end, if we record, you know, the experience of going under the slides, then in the end, where you're seeing the budget, everything is fading out, and so suddenly this project is not so urgent.
Okay, I understand. I totally understand.
Yeah.
If you want, I can share with you a few approaches. I love sales because I see this is an enabler. Without sales, nobody will be happy. Company will not be happy, and your client will not be happy. If he didn't get your services, what should happen? Nothing. Or either he might go with a cheaper solution, and then the cheaper solution will not be reliable, and he will waste money. So I feel myself role of salesperson as a duty. I am fighting for you guys. I want to make sure. No, really, and I'm sure. Yeah, of course it works for you in the same way, because you are so flexible. You want to invest everything to give them as much information as possible, to give them the fastest solution and reliable one. How I handle in different ways. One approach is to put price in the beginning, and it sounds controversial, but because I used to work with neuroscientists, I more or less, and in neuroscience is an area of my biggest interest, and I all the time train in sales. So I know that sometimes if you put price in the beginning, people just go through the entire presentation justifying, okay, now like initially they will see like 100,000, let's assume, and they, why? This is shocking. Okay, guys, I totally understand you. Exactly. Because of that, I want to explain why. And you go and you explain, you know, so you address that objection in the beginning, and then you start like uncovering it. And they're like, oh. Instead of it's growing up, it going down in some way. Yeah, it might be annoying, but let's be transparent, guys. I don't want you to rely on cheap solution. What you will get, and you start, and especially if you can predict objections from them, for sure, from the budget or their scenario that they will go to another company and they will shop around and all this stuff. You bring it by yourself because they already have it on their mind. But you start speaking out loud, and they think, okay, so you're showing them downsides. This is how it works in my practice. Otherwise, I understand you, and this is so painful. You already invested your heart, and you're so passionate about helping them, and then they just, I treat them as kids. They don't understand danger if they go, for example, with a competitor, and they just go with like agency that will provide fragmented solution. I need to protect them.
It's same here. I'm actually using this type of tactics when it comes to presenting the budget, not sending the offer, because when you send the offer, and I'm always like, because sometimes we're presenting a budget, let's say in an Excel sheet, and there are, you know, lots of slots there, and I'm just starting with, I know that as we are starting to scroll down, you're going to ask or wait for the last line of this sheet to see the numbers. So I'm fastly scrolling down for you to see the number and come down, and I will explain to you what is hidden behind those figures. And this is an interesting approach, and we already are using it. But I wanted to say about this example related to the transformation of the business, because we're not only offering them a quick win solution, and it's not fragmented exactly as you mentioned, but it's really well thought and integrated. We're offering them to jump on a tech stack of solutions that they didn't use previously. And I think that's the moment where the clients are realizing that the efforts of achieving what he wants, it's not only about budget and money, but it's about investing time. Now we're going to use a new technology that will enable us to do this and this better, but it means I will have more work. And that's the essence of digital transformation when it comes to the person itself. So we see a lot of companies or clients, individual persons coming to meetings with us, and we're sharing, HubSpot, what it's all about, or other solutions, or how we integrate. And they're, oh, amazing, so great. And at the end, there is always the question, how much time, or maybe there is the question, how much time I need to invest in order to get that, not only the money, which is a good question. But some of the clients, they just don't realize that this question will pop up in their heads, because it's not just buying something. You need to learn how to drive it, because at the end, Limacon will help you implement it or teach it how to drive. But then it's up to you if you're driving it really good or fast or slow. It's up really to you. And this takes time. And this time, I think it's very, I don't know, it's valuable for them maybe, but it's a paradox. Because on the one hand, this time actually not investing time in this digitalization process is stopping you, is hindering you from achieving the goals.
I totally agree with you. My question will be, what size of the company?
Yes, let's say a scaling company with a small team, SaaS company, so the classical stuff.
Okay, got it. In my language, there are words that are banded in me. I can't just pronounce them out loud. So, for example, I would not even talk about digital new technology, that's something like that. They are so scared. They have so many tasks. And what I found, and I tried different approaches, and what I see right now, that I focus heavily on what they will get. And at the same time, I'm explaining, yes, you will need to invest time, and not but even, it's like, this time, this will be the result. These are, so they so often, actually, you gave a great example about HubSpot, because less than 1 year ago, I was the person on that side of the client who was considering HubSpot. And I observed it by myself, how they talked behind the scene about that. It's very interesting. They don't want new technology. This is it's not sexy for them. They want, instead of that, they want as minimum new technologies as possible, so it will be easier. Really, even we are talking about SaaS company. They could be deep tech, and they don't want, because they think, okay, it will slow down, we need to train, and then I have 33 more other tech solutions. So I don't want to talk to, for example, within that client, I don't want to bring focus on that this is new technology in terms of its digital technology. I'm bringing, this is solution for us. You see, we can make sure that there is. So I actually don't use at all about that this is new technology. Otherwise, they will just run from that. And they ended up actually, I'm sure a lot of efforts were driven from HubSpot. I remember guys from HubSpot, they were very persistent, and I loved the approach, how they treated the client. So let's provide you additional information. Okay, let's have a call with technical team, all this stuff. So they went extra mile, and client chose HubSpot. But they just like, oh, I don't want anything. I'm already like frustrated. I already have so many tasks. Really, I don't want your enabler, your transformation. Remove it. Give me revenue and less work. You know?
Exactly. I think that's something that is happening among a lot of companies nowadays, and we just need to send the message that technology for technology companies is something like the air nowadays. So it's not something to choose on whether to have it or not, but just to choose what type of technology to use. And exactly what you're telling is we as a HubSpot partner, we very, very rare give demos on the software. Like this is a specific product meeting where a client wants to just see what is HubSpot for. We're constantly giving solution for a specific problem. Let's say I need to generate leads, or I need to align marketing and sales team. And we're giving the strategy of aligning those teams. And HubSpot is just the digital platform of enabling this strategy to be possible. And in this way, the client is far more acceptable on what we're giving to them. Of course, at the end, it's always about the budget and pricing and etc. But we're trying to do that. And at this specific case that we're discussing today, I was also not mentioning technology, or I was mentioning technology, let's say at the end, and say, okay, guys, in order to achieve this and to accelerate your go-to-market, then we need to use this tech stack of tools integrated seamlessly together, blah, blah, blah. And I think, at this point of time, you're realizing, okay, it's not only something that they will do for us and we will grow, it's something that we need to do for us in order to grow. And for scale-ups and startups, the problem is, or the challenge is that a very specific person, let's say a business development person, he is having responsibilities across all sales functionalities. So he's let's say a sales rep, he's a business development, he's an account executive, he's after a salesperson, and all those things is just a pressure on him because you are alone. Mostly you're one salesperson at the beginning. Now you have some funding. Now you need to grow fast. You cannot hire people because people are, very few there on the market currently that can help you or be onboarded quite fast. And it's really a paradox that you need to solve. And when the time comes that someone says to you, okay, guys, we have the solution, and it's not about people, it's about technology. We're just going to equip you with this technology. And then he's realizing that he needs to say, okay, I need now to find time to train myself how to work with this technology. Let's procrastinate. Let's postpone this stuff. And I hope that this will not be the end of our business. Sometimes it's, in fact, the end. Well, we're getting slowly to the end of our conversation. So I would love to hear from you your final words when it comes to, digital transformation of client-facing teams. What are the skills of the future? What are the people that they need to? Do you think that a marketer needs to work some time or some days in the sales team, or a salesperson needs to go and work as a marketer sometime within the company in order to, have a vision of both worlds? Or what is your opinion?
My opinion, when I just moved to London, I started to prepare my CV, and there were different lines in job specifications that I was looking for. Communication skills. Yeah. And everybody's talking communication skills. And my answer is boring. Communication skills. I will give in more details. Ask questions. It's not only like we like to talk. Yeah. Salesperson needs to pitch. Marketer sends a lot of messages across channels. But my goal as a marketer, my goal as a salesperson, not to through message. My end goal, that message to be landed on their mind, and it's not controversial to what I said, and it will move a person like further or through the pipeline. Yeah. So my end goal is to to make sure that that message in his head is properly received and
properly
really,
landed where it
yeah,
needs to
it
be.
should be landed. And I should, first of all, on the preparation side, I should talk a lot, asking questions. I mean, meet people, meet your, especially if you're in technical tech company, talk to your developers, go and have coffee. I even recently talked to AWS, Amazon guys with their cloud, and I was asking them, how did you come to like new industry? What did you do to serve your client better? And he was, the guy was telling me that, you know, just grab coffee and go and have 20 minutes chat. And you will and ask question, what is your problem? What is the most painful for you every day? What does frustrate you? Or what do you want to get rid of in your life? And then you will talk even to 5 people, and you will understand, okay, actually now I see how I should change my message, my pitch, follow up email, you know, because I will understand, okay, he's already so tired. And when I explain to you, to him my product, I will say, you know, you will have additional 2 hours of time with your family in the evening. This is what he wants, you know, or he wants to get maybe a beer with colleagues or coffee break. But right now he's just like, couldn't even move from his chair. So if I can picture him exactly that problem that he has in his body and what I will give him, he will be more open to consider. Oh, really? Okay, maybe.
Thank you. Thank you, Sveta. Thank you so much for this inspiring conversation. It was really a real pleasure to have you on the conference. And I hope we're going to have the opportunity to talk to each other once again in a short.
Yes.
I think I would love to invite you to my LinkedIn Live podcast that will be again renewed in the couple of weeks that is coming ahead. So we'll be keeping in touch. Thanks for everyone that is watching us now. We're going live right after this session with the next one. So just stay tuned. Thank you so much, Sveta. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Sveta K. So exactly as in a program. So I'm happy to connect with you guys.
Thank you.